very good morning, everyone. On behalf of Institute of Public Enterprise Center for Corporate Governance, we welcome all the participants for this two-day program, first of its kind and an innovative program that the Institute has initiated. It's titled as Board Orientation Program, It's Her Time on Board. So we are all aware that the new Companies Act has come, and it is the Companies Act 2013, and we know what kind of commitments the Companies Act has given to all the corporates. So in this light, we thought this could be a program to bring all the women executives of public enterprises together, and they can share their experiences in terms of work, in terms of leadership, in terms of the various problems they are facing to reach the board. So this is a small innovative approach that initiated by the Center for Corporate Governance under the ONGC Subir Rahat chair at the Institute, and we are very happy to have in our midst esteemed dignitary Srimati Usha Ananta Subramaniam, Chairman, Managing Director, Bharatiya Mahila Bank, New Delhi. Happy to have you in our midst, ma'am. Welcome. May I now request a participant, Dr. Janaki, to hand over a bouquet to madam. Can I now request Dr. Lakshmi to hand over a bouquet to our esteemed director, Dr. R.K. Mishra. Thank you. Before I take this opportunity to ask my colleague and program coordinator to say a few words about the program, I have pleasure in introducing my director to all of you. Dr. R.K. Mishra is a ONGC Subir Rahat Chair Professor on Corporate Governance and a Senior Professor and Director at the Institute of Public Enterprise. He holds a PhD from the University of Rajasthan, and he is a visiting fellow at London Business School. He has also studied at the International Teachers Program SDA Bocconi, Milan, Italy. And Dr. Mishra also taught at the University of Bradford and is also a visiting professor at Mansandar Les Sciences de la Homs, Paris, and he is also visiting faculty at the Faculty of Economics, University of Ljubljana. Apart from the academic career that he has got and credential he has got, he is also a member on the task force of the United Nations on International Standards of Excellence in Public Administration and Education. He is a Vice President, International Association of Schools and Institutions of Administrations, Brussels. He is an invited speaker and a participant and an invited member on the OECD Working Group on Privatization and Corporate Governance of the State-Owned Enterprises, and also on the Asian Network of Corporate Governance. Apart from having the international diversified experience, he is also a member on the panel of experts of the reforms of the central public enterprises set up by the Planning Commission, Government of India. He is also a member on the task force of the Cabinet Secretariat on the Results Framework document, the Performance Management Division, Government of India. And he is also an advisor on the panel of corporate governance constituted by Government of India. And he is also heading many board positions in various public enterprises like Bharat Dynamics Limited and also the Neyveli Lignite Corporation. And his areas of interest include corporate governance, international finance, international management, public-private partnership. So the program, under his initiation, we have started this innovative program, and we have only 10 participants as of now, but next time we assure that the number keeps on increasing because of the new guidelines that are coming up, and we will try to do better in the next course of time. May I now request our Honorable Director, Dr. Mishra, to welcome all the participants.
Respected Srimati Usha Anand Subramaniam ji, Suchita from the local Mahila Bank, Professor Sital Junjunwala, Professor Kiran, my colleagues, senior colleagues from the faculty here, also esteemed participants. Let me extend a very, very hearty welcome to all of you on this occasion, a very, very important occasion, on an occasion when we are going to talk about a path-breaking development in India, which I understand. I had a very short discourse with Mr. Subramaniam. We'll go to, I think, other countries of the world. There are people who are thronging, coming to her and talking about the experience of Mahila Bank. And they want to take it to different parts of the world. And I was talking to her, I'm sure that very soon I think BRICS Bank, which is coming into being, will also take a leaf, from what has happened in India. I share the concern of Kiran when she told that we have only 10 participants. 10 is not a small number, it is a big number. Especially the chief guest of the day, is known as Mrs. Ananta Subramaniam. And if you go to Vishnu Sahasranam, one of the names of God is Anantaya Namah. So there is no end. I think it's a very good beginning of this small program. And I don't think where will be the end of it. Like 3 steps that God took and covered the entire world in 2.5 steps. So the God is with us. We are on a very good mission. And I'm sure this mission will cover not only the world, but the extraterrestrial things also, which we don't see over here. Ma'am, I think this is a very, very important program for the Institute for a number of things. One is that IIP has been working in the area of board development, and I don't think any board development can be talked without gender diversity. I'll say that India is going to be India incorporated. With the present government coming to power, it looks like that we'll follow the corporate model of development. And if that is going to be the case, I think the role of the boards in the development of enterprises and thereby of the country will be central. And if that be the case, and we don't have boards functioning well, then I don't think we'll go any more forward. Then the question comes, how should board function well? And I think there is a very straight answer to that. Boards will function well when they have different ideas. Difference in ideas, as Dr. Sheetal Jhunjhunwala in her book, Dr. Jhunjhunwala, she talks about the gender diversity. This is the first book in the world, not only in India, this is the first book in the world, a research-based book, which talked about gender diversity. And based on this, since we have been working with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, with the Department of Public Enterprises, we fought very hard, as Dr. Kiran has just mentioned, to get a new provision in the Companies Act that each board will have a women member. 2 things we can say are the contribution of IPE, and I think I don't feel unhappy about it, I feel very happy about it, that both the things have come from our women colleagues. One you see in my hand, the other one is Dr. Poonam Singh, and we have Dr. Slugna Sarkar. They have been working for the last 7 years in the area of CSR, which again is a part of corporate governance. And their continuous work, in different fora, it made government think to introduce a provision under Section 135 of the Companies Act of making CSR mandatory. This is another big contribution, of the institute. So difference in ideas is very, very important. And the question comes, how can we have differing ideas? Differing ideas will come from gender diversity. Unless you have diversity, we will not have different ideas. And when you talk of diversity, as I told, I think instead of going to other things, like bringing global directors, doing several things, we can first talk of gender. Whether we have the gender diversity in Indian boards or not. And we find it that Indian boards are mostly males club. And we can say that one of the reasons why Indian boards have not done well, and that we have proved in this, path-making research work, is because of public enterprise and private sector enterprise boards becoming, old boys club or boys club. Now, we have found that if you compare ourselves with other countries, we are far below. In the case of Scandinavian countries, about 40% board members, they are women. In India, it was 1.5%. From 1.5%, it has gone to 3%. And now also unwillingly, we are trying to bring women members on the board. We have made this provision mandatory, but saying that only one board member is essentially, should come from, women folk is again tokenism in my view. Because if you take into consideration the boards abroad, you find 50%, 60% are women members. I was looking into, I think, this study, and I found in the US there are about 800 enterprises where women members, they exceed male members. Women chairpersons are more than the male chairpersons. They have gone there. We are very close to, though we are very big, but we are very close to Latin American countries like Peru and Uruguay, where we find the participation of women of the level of 1 or 2%. We are at 4%, which is not a big deal, in the sense that we have very high literacy rate. We have the third we are the third country in the world in terms of scientific personnel. We have so many women scientists. Now, I think we can again ask why we should have women members. And again, I think the answer is very simple. You find, I think, behavioral difference between male members and women members of the board. And we find that male members, as the study points out, they are task focused. One thing, they believe in short-run achievements. But when it comes, as the study discloses, to women members, we find that they work on intuition and emotions, which are very, very important thing, because today India's major problem is management of emotions. We are very good people, but can we make them work? Can we engage them? Can we integrate them? Can we give them a feeling that they come here just not to work and perform and get their salaries and get promotions? They are the enterprise. Can we bring that feeling them? And we find that this comes very often and very frequently from women, which doesn't come from men. Also, I think that relationship management is another very, very important thing. And we find that relationship management, in the case of women board members, I myself know, I have been, as Kiran told, I have been on some public enterprise boards, on some private enterprise boards. And my own limited experience shows that when it comes to males, they are very arrogant. They would not like, male board members would not like to talk to each other. Whereas a women board member, she doesn't feel that she has been, slighted, or that, there is, people don't agree with them. They go and they talk, they bury the hatchet, and they are ready to start, afresh. I think if this be the case, and if India has to become, in the real sense of the term, India incorporated, it is a must that we must bring more and more, women, on the board. And sooner we do, I think, sooner we do, better it is. But again, I think one question comes, how come that it is not happening? One is mandatory. In India, we want to solve everything through law, but it doesn't happen. There has to be a social acceptance. How can we bring in the social acceptance? And there we find that the kind of person you want at the board level, you don't find that kind of education among women. Now slowly things are changing. One is that at the board level, the study shows that we have very small number of women members who have been exposed to computer education, IT education, or who had IT education, who had engineering education. Many of them, they have education in the field of law and banking. And I'm very glad, and you are seeing, I think, a very good example of Madam Usha Anand Subramaniam. She had there, and I think she is now at the pinnacle, I think, of the of the banking position in our country. So that educational diversity, I think, is very, very important issue. But one very interesting, differentiation we found was that women members on the board, in terms of age, are much younger to male members. But the reason is that there were not many, I think, women members earlier. They have just started coming. But again, I think this is very, very good, development. We must have a balanced team where we should have youngsters, because youngsters have a lot of imagination, a lot of drive. They can take a lot of risk. They have a lot of agility. They have less arrogance as compared to people, who are senior. So, that is coming in the board. But that apart, I think we need, I think, to see that they go in different fields of education. Here I'm very happy to tell that IP is an institution which believes, in gender diversity. And today we have more number of female students. Not that we want it, but they are meritorious. They have come on their merit. They have done their CAT. They are all through first class first. Nobody can stop them, We are only there to help them in their growth. And we also have very distinguished colleagues in the faculty. And I hope male colleagues will not, take an exception to what I say. They have done much better, I think, than the male colleagues. If that's the case, I think male colleagues can give a big clap. Big clap to them. We accept their supremacy and we accept their leadership. I think I'll just tell two more things. We have in the women leadership qualities. And leadership qualities is, working together. One thing, as I told you, making, managing emotions, I think, emotions very well. And, giving up, kshama, we call it, if anything goes wrong, they don't mind. They say that you please keep on moving. So these leadership traits, behavioral traits are there in the women. The whole thing, I think, which one would like to tell is that we are on the threshold of getting best from the women. And people say that by 2040,